probably just licking their chops. Already, the line came out. They're a 26.5-point favorite over Farley Dickinson for tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
The first, I guess there's 8 teams in the tournament that are in this first round. They're going to be 30-plus point favorites. And you mentioned that Duke game. It's the winner of the North Carolina Central and North Dakota State game. So best of luck to those guys, but I don't think it's going to work out very well. They may as well just consider this their tournament and move on after tonight.
Well, the winner gets a plane trip to North Carolina.
Yeah,
that's going to help a little bit.
That's about all you're going to get, and a lot of heartache.
And they get a taste of the buffet, but they don't get the whole buffet because they're going to get drilled and be gone early.
Well, the thing that's pretty funny about it, they don't know who they're playing, but Duke's a 35-point favorite. So, I mean, what's that tell you?
Well, the only thing Duke has to worry about in their game is not getting anybody hurt to get out of this first round. Each of these teams that are playing, these teams that have no reason to be in the tournament, you want to go into the game, you want to get out to a big lead, get your guys out of there so they don't get hurt when you come up to playing the actual NCAA teams.
Oh, yeah, there's no question.
Well, you don't want to get caught like Virginia did last year neither.
Yeah.
You know, getting beat by a 16 seed.
And that team ended up moving on, losing the next week, actually. So a couple of days later. There's some interesting ball games. And you know, what I'm happy about is I might go up this weekend on Friday and Sunday. There's games in Columbus. 4 games on Friday. And then among them is Tennessee's out there. Iowa's out there. And then 2 games on Sunday. So I'm thinking about taking a ride up there. Our buddy Volch, he's going to the games on Sunday with another guy. I said, well, you know, thanks for the invite. He said, well, sorry. I said, well, I hope it rains inside the arena. Just for him. Just for him. So, but it's going to be interesting. Duke is the overwhelming favorite to win this thing. But, you know, a lot of guys, as Joe Lenardi, people like that are supposedly in the know, they're not picking Duke to get into the Final Four or get into the championship game. Duke always has has something around them that maybe something happens. But with Zion Williamson back in the lineup, they look pretty strong the other night.
They're going to be tough to beat, Jags, especially if they shoot the 3 well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's the best player in college basketball by far. I mean, they were talking about it on ESPN last night. Duke has full team together, playing together, has 1 loss against Gonzaga. That's it.
I think the toughest region you're probably looking at might be over, who knows? I mean, on the one side, on the Midwest, you have North Carolina at 1, Kentucky's a 2 seed, Houston 3. Doesn't appear to be all that strong outside of those 2 teams. You got Virginia, the 2 seed there is Tennessee. Purdue's the 3 seed, Kansas State's the 4 seed. Not a real strong area there. But Duke, meanwhile, you got Duke, Michigan State, LSU, and Virginia Tech, some pretty strong competition there. Michigan State really got the shaft. They win the Big Ten tournament, and they stick them out there in the East with Duke out there. It's, you know, I mean, that was just brutal. I mean, Big Ten champions, and then all they're not getting any love.
No, they're not getting any love, and that was going to be a point that I brought up. You win the Big Ten championship and you really don't get a 1 seed, and you know, so you don't know. I mean, if they're looking at their body of work or whatever it might be, but it's pretty interesting how it all played out for them anyhow.
Well, you said body of work. I'll give you body of work. Michigan played Michigan State 3 times. Michigan State's beat them 3 times.
All 3 times.
Mm-hmm. And Michigan State got to go play Duke, and Michigan gets the 2 seed and the 4 seed, the number 1 4 seeds bracket.
Right, in Michigan.
Gonzaga. And again, Gonzaga.
Yeah. Tell me how that works.
Yeah.
Well, because Michigan went to the finals last year, so they're getting a little help there. Get a little respect, I guess.
Jason's shaking his head over there. He's a Michigan fan.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it worked out. Well, out there in the West is Gonzaga at 1, Michigan at 2. The 3 team is who are we looking at? Texas Tech. Texas Tech lost a lot of guys from last year's team, and yet they come in here and they get beat by West Virginia in the tournament.
In their conference tournament.
Right, and they end up getting a 3 seed there, and the 4 seed is Florida State, who's no pushover. So they got a nice, and then they have Buffalo at number 6 from the MAC, and Buffalo can do some damage. Buffalo destroyed Arizona last year in the first round. And so that team from the MAC, the MAC never gets any respect, and yet OU went there in 2012. They got to the Sweet 16, lost in overtime to North Carolina. And the MAC just gets no respect. They get 1 team in there every year, which is absolutely ridiculous. When you could take 8 or 10 teams from the Big Ten, ACC, and AAC, whatever other conferences out there, and you only get 1 team from the MAC. And then you get like Gonzaga. St. Mary's beats them. Otherwise, St. Mary's doesn't get in. Gonzaga gets in with the championship.
Right.
So, there's a little bit of helping. It's like drafting, in NASCAR. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to let you beat me, and then you're going to get in, and I'm going to get in.
Yeah, it's like leaving the ball in the putting green and you chip and the guy hits it. It saves the whole tournament, but it ruins everything else.
So I'm looking, there's a lot of things you got to be wary about Virginia. I thought Virginia had one of the stronger teams coming in. Then they lose, in the tournament. So, you just never know. I mean, is that going to hurt them? Is that going to help them? They got a pretty good team, but you got to worry about teams like them that don't have a lot of offense. They rely on defense all the time. If they go ice cold, like West Liberty did last night, you can get bounced pretty early.
Now, Virginia's in a good bracket, though. I mean, the way they set it up for them, they have no one that's going to run the ball up the floor. I mean, if you look at who they're playing, they're going to play probably the winner of Ole Miss, Oklahoma. Oklahoma likes to run it up, but after that, you get Wisconsin, slows it down. Kansas State slows it down. Villanova slows it down. Purdue doesn't rush it up the floor. Cincinnati does the same thing, slows it down. And Tennessee is pass, and play good defense.
Yeah, and then you're looking at, I guess we'll stay in the state of Virginia, but you look at a team like Virginia Tech, who didn't have, essentially what most people thought was a pretty good point guard in Justin Robinson. Virginia Tech was 7-5 when Robinson was out of the lineup. He's in the lineup. He was 7. They were 17-3. Some of the experts are saying that his return might be the biggest advantage to any team in the tournament.
Mm-hmm. There's another team I can't remember. I had it last night. I was at a drawing, and they get their star player back. I think it might be VCU, and that's a team. A few years ago when Shaka Smart was there, they kind of shocked everybody. Got to the Final Four. They ended up getting blown out there, and he ended up going on to Texas. UCLA tried to get him. He spurned them, went to Texas instead, and now VCU is back in it. And they play Central Florida, who's another surprise team to get in there. You know what I don't like is that there's a lot of teams in here that don't belong because they win some crummy conference. They get to be Cinderella for a couple of hours, and then they get blown out and embarrassed and head back home again and get a nice payday out of it. If you want to you got a lot of teams that didn't make it that probably deserve to be in there, but they lose in a first or second round of their conference tournament or lose here or whatever, and they don't have what they call this quality wins. You want to change all this? You want to make it so there's nobody crying? You have one more round. It's only another weekend.
Correct.
Cut a week off in a regular season. Instead of playing 40 games, you're playing 35, and then you invite another round of teams. Go by the Joe Sagarin, power rankings, and then you put in 128, and you get rid of this stupid playing game. You have 128. You just add one more round. Is all you're doing. And then nobody complains. Nobody can't complain. If you're ranked 129th, you have no beef of not getting in a tournament.
You sound like a guy that used to coach basketball. Was a pretty good basketball coach. He used to coach at Indiana. His name was Bobby Knight. He hated conference tournaments. You don't need them. You don't need a conference tournament. If you play 16 games in your conference, he would say, take the best team and then take 128 teams. Don't need a tournament. There's 3 games you just cut off.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And you and I talked about it yesterday, Jogs, the fact that to extend it a week or cut the season by whatever it is. Some people say that, hey, it's just more time for these kids out of school, but they're out of school so much anyway, it doesn't really matter.
Right. It doesn't matter. You're doing in football, you play, 13 weeks of games, and then you have a conference championship, then you have a bowl game. So, the student athlete, per se, has pretty much gone out the door. I mean, there are kids on these teams that are there for 4 years, that are there to get their degree, but a lot of these guys, especially on Kentucky, teams like at Duke, it's one and done. R.J. Barrett's one and done. Zion Williamson, one and done. Whoever else, Reddish, one and done. You see these guys and what hurts is they only have to go for the first semester.
Correct.
Right. And then they're done. I mean, basketball season's over with. Hey, I'm not going back to school. I'm going to become a millionaire. What a deal.
when Zion loses, when Duke loses, he's going to have the biggest shoe deal ever.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And it probably won't be with Nike.
The Adidas and company are lining up as we speak.
They're
right
licking
now.
their chops. That's why Nike's going to give them a ton of money to stay with Nike.
Yeah, we'll make you a special shoe so it doesn't blow out again.
Yeah, they're going to have to have retreads.
Now, what do you do? I mean, you put them shoes together with fake leather and Elmer's glue. What do you think is going to happen to them?
Well, from what I understand, I guess officials from Duke and officials from Nike flew to the plant to actually see how these new shoes were being put together.
Just find some sweatshop, you'll see how they're put together.
They're like spending money to try to figure out what went wrong. I mean, what went wrong is that it just wasn't put together very well.
No, you got a 6'8", 260-pound freak of an athlete that just tried to make a cut. That's what happened.
Yeah, and he's, whatever he weighs, 250, 270, and then you're putting all that pressure down on a foot. I mean, I weigh 248, and the pressure I put on my shoes, they seem to fall apart sometimes.
Yeah, I feel bad for your shoes, too, myself. Let me tell you.
248 and dropping.
Well, go ahead.
Who do we like as, who's going to be this year's Cinderella? Who's going to get there and turn the tables on everybody and get to that maybe Final 8, Final 4 It's been happening every year. It was Loyola Chicago last year with their 98-year-old nun. That was the darling of the tournament, and they didn't even make it this year. They couldn't even get out of their own conference tournament this year.
You had to go there, didn't
Jason's shaking his head, nobody. But if I had to pick somebody, I'm picking Yale.
Yale?
Yale. I like them a lot. They got a couple NBA players, and they can shoot. I'm telling you, Yale, don't be surprised when they beat LSU in the first round.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness. I would probably have to say I like your pick of Buffalo. That's a team that just kind of year in and year out, they just kind of sneak up on somebody. And, I mean, they're kind of a middle-of-the-pack seed, but I like Buffalo.
There's always a team that people get in love with. They upset somebody in the first round, and then maybe in the second round. You get like a Murray State playing Marquette. They're 27-4. Marquette's lost like 5 of their last 6 games or something like that, so that's a possibility of an upset. Buffalo plays the winner of tonight's Arizona State-St. John's game. Nevada is a 7 seed. I mean, they're not really a great name team because they play out there in Nevada and nobody watches their games. There's just so many.
Unless you can't sleep at night.
Belmont, teams like that, they just won. They beat Temple by about a dozen to get in there. You just don't know. And it's always 13 beating a 4 or 12 beating a 5.
Correct.
So you look in those brackets and you have your opportunities there. Old Dominion against Purdue is a 14-3 seed. 5-12 Auburn, New Mexico State, who's by the way, like 30-4.
Ohio State. That's what I'm trying to tell Jason.
How about
Ohio State is the sleeper, the Ohio State University.
Yeah, they're 19-14 playing Iowa State. And again, that's an argument, too.
Yeah.
Does Ohio State belong? Does Florida belong? Teams that are 19-15 and 19-14 are getting in over teams like NC State, who was 23-10, some other teams. And you look at this and you're going, what are you thinking about? Well, they went 9-9 in their conference. Well, yeah, that means, you know what that means to me? They lost 9 games in their conference.
Yeah.
Plus the games they lost outside the conference. I mean, if you're barely above, why not invite West Virginia? They were only 14-20, but they're playing Rio Grande or somebody tonight.
Dan Marley.
Yeah, Dan Marley.
The Thunderdome.
The Grand Canyon College.
Yeah.
So
well, that's WVU. They're playing Grand Canyon University.
Well, it's like the bowl games. If you're 6-6, you do not belong in a bowl game. Why are you being rewarded for being average? And that's what Ohio State is this year, average. That's what Florida is, average. Iona wins some crappy conference. They're 17-15. They don't belong in there.
No, there's no question. But now you've got the college basketball invitational, and then the college,
CIT,
the NIT, the not invited tournament,
the NIT, the FBI. You got it all.
You got it all.
It's crazy.
CSI.
Everybody just keeps playing.
Everybody keeps making some money. So
yes, they are.
Anyways, time for our first break. We're broadcasting live from Stryker Sports Bar at Holiday Lanes in downtown Weirton. I'll be leaving the show at about 10 after to go out there and embarrass myself for 3 hours in 3 different bowling.
So you've got 5 hours of embarrassment.
Yeah, I got all kind of embarrassment. I'm just lined up for embarrassment tonight.
We got to get Danny out there with the camera. We got to get that on there.
We got to get that.
I don't think you want to see
that live.
I'll tell you how bad my luck is in bowling. About a month ago, I'm standing there. I'm getting ready to roll, right? So I got my ball, and I'm getting the towel and getting all the grease off it, and I drop my ball. My ball hits the corner, and as it hits the corner and rolls past me toward the line. So you can't run after it because you'll just slip and fall and greasy all the way down the line. So I'm going after it. It rolls across the line and then goes into the gutter. That counts as an attempt. That's an attempt because the ball went past the line.
It would have been a better attempt if you'd have attempted to try to.
If you would have attempted to go
get it.
And I was like, that's the dumbest thing ever. I even told you. I said, I can't believe that counts as an attempt for me. And then I was so mad. I gunned the next one. I ended up getting a spare, so it worked out. So, all right, we got to take a break. Our show's being brought to you tonight by Thomas Auto Centers, Kane Realty, Waldorf Distributing, Gianna Moore's Pizza, Big John's Auto, Buckeye Security and Investigations, M. Colares Floor, also by Made Men Promotions, Smokies on Sunset, and of course we're doing it here from Stryker Sports Bar. What is that, Dan? Am I saying that right? I mean, what is that?
It's Fleur. I guess I don't know.
I don't even know what that is. So, all right, we're going to take a time out. Back with more coming up after these words.
Your daughter is going to look spectacular in her prom gown, but who's going to design her bouquet? M. Colares Florals, of course. Shelley Colares has this special ability to create the most unique, eye-catching, breathtaking floral creations, and whether she uses fresh or artificial flowers, her unique creative style will enhance your daughter's beauty on prom night. Visit Shelley on Facebook at M. Colares Fleurs. It's Fleurs. It's French for flowers, or call to place place your order at 740-317-5143. Oh, and be sure to order your welcome spring and Easter wreaths ASAP. You know it takes Shelley time to design and create an extra special one just for you. Check out her creations on Facebook today. M. Colares Fleurs. Fleur is French for flowers, of course.
With over 25 years of security experience, Buckeye Security and Investigations LLC is who you need to turn to for all of your security needs. Offering security guard services, private investigations, and low-cost cellular monitoring, along with state-of-the-art IP cameras and recorders with remote view applications. Buckeye Security and Investigations LLC can serve all of your security camera and access control needs. Buckeye Security Investigations LLC is a locally owned and operated company. Contact Buckeye Security and Investigations LLC at 740-264-5904 today.
Ohio Valley Sports Online wants to recognize one of our newest sponsors, Smoky's Tobacco Outlet on Sunset Boulevard. Visit Smoky's on Sunset for all the specials on tobacco and cigars. Smoky's Tobacco Outlet is a proud sponsor of this broadcast. Visit Smoky's soon. You can count on Kane for residential real estate listings, commercial listings, and auctions, serving clients since 1956 with offices in East Springfield and Steubenville. Kane combines real estate and auctioneering to offer several options for the sale of real estate or private property. You can count on Kane. Call them today or go to countonkane.com. That's easy. It's countonkane.com for Kane Realty.
Well, we're back. Ohio Valley Sports Online from Strikers at Holiday Lanes in Weirton, and now we are joined. We've replaced Jags and his feet and whatever. And now we've got Jason with us, and Jason said he's got plenty of opinions, so we're gonna just let it fly.
We'll let him go for a little bit.
Good. We don't even have him turned up. It's even better.
Yeah.
He's still not.
I can't hear him.
He's not there.
Can you hear me?
There he is.
There you go.
No, I was saying, you guys got me on my Stephen A. Smith mood today because, first of all, Ohio State has, I'll give him that. They have no business, but neither does any other MAC team.
Oh, man, he's killing Jags.
So let's get that straight. Yeah. One MAC team, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Michigan State, the reason they are where they are at.
Oh, here we go.
No, it's the truth. I'm going to tell you.
Folks, if you're watching on YouTube, just put your feet up. It'll be great.
No, okay, because let me finish before you.
Go ahead.
Before the season starts, you fill out a questionnaire of what region would you like to be based in, and when you get your seeding, if you're like that highest number 2 seed, so they got put the region they wanted to be in.
So
the preseason.
Then why do you seed 1 through 8 then?
You still seed, but if you have a preference of where you want to be at.
I'm pretty sure Tom Izzo would change it if he knew who he was playing.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have, but I mean,
Charlie, thank you.
Thanks, Charlie.
Yeah, so that was why they're in the East region. They were the number 2 overall. They were the second number 2 seed behind Tennessee. Kentucky was third. Tennessee got to be where they wanted to go. Michigan State got to be where they wanted to go as per their preseason
questionnaire.
That's neat.
That's more information than I ever knew.
Me neither.
Yeah. Is it like one of those online polls where you just like fill it out and you get a $50 Best Buy card when you're done with it, and then they never send it to you anyway.
And thank you, sir. The answer to Jags' question about this year's sleeper, there will be none.
You don't think?
No.
Why?
Just the upper echelon teams to me this year are that much better. Your Dukes, your Tennessees, your Virginias. If you want to count a sleeper to me is a Houston team and a number 3 seed.
Really?
It's 31-3. I wouldn't call them a sleeper.
Exactly, yeah. But I'll give you one team that I would have as a sleeper, and you're going to disagree with me probably. If Iowa State beats Houston, they will be in the Final Four.
Iowa State ain't beating Ohio State.
Iowa State's going to kill Ohio State. So as we go back against a team that shouldn't be there.
Tennessee, I don't. they've played well, but I think they're an early out.
They're a tough matchup for Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a tough matchup for
For them.
everybody.
That to me, the winner of that game is in the
Speaking
Final
with
Four.
these two guys sitting over here, that's all they do is know how to guard.
Right.
They're going to guard you. Cincinnati's going to guard you for 40 minutes. They're going to be in your face. They make it rough. It's a football game out there when you play Cincinnati. Did
Yeah.
you watch the Houston game? I mean, Houston was backing away. Cincinnati is up in you.
You know, Cincinnati's, relatively close to home in Columbus, so that's virtually a home game.
Yeah, they were talking about that on ESPN this morning.
So that's kind of a big, that's a big thing too. Where you play and all that other business. So it's pretty interesting how that all is going to play out.
Yeah, I think the winner of that Cincinnati Tennessee, if they both win their first game, which I have them, moves on to the Final Four. I think either one of them beats Virginia for what you talked about earlier, where Virginia only plays one style, of play.
Well, their 4 losses. You think about their 4. They lost twice to Duke, pushes the ball up the floor. Athletes all over the place.
Exactly.
They lose to Florida State. Athletes all over the place. They got 3 losses? Yeah, 3 losses.
3 losses.
2 athletic teams, and the most athletic team in the tournament. As much as we say Duke's got 3 NBA players, but I'm gonna tell you what, Florida State's got some players.
Yes, they
do.
They
got some players.
Them, North Carolina.
There's some players out there.
I think North Carolina's a team that you're not going to sleep on North Carolina, but that's a team that they could make a pretty deep run into this. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. They could. I have them. Well, I have them losing in the Elite Eight actually. My shocker team, which
I thought you didn't have a shocker.
Well, like Billy said, you really can't count them as a shocker. Is the University of Houston?
No, because they shoot the ball well. They got 3 athletic guards, and you know what Sampson does. You're going to guard.
You're going to guard. You're going to play.
You're going to play. I watched him on TV. He lost his. His jacket in 30 seconds. He lost his tie in the next 45 seconds.
I love it.
And Cincinnati just beat him up.
Right.
Cincinnati just beat him up from start to finish.
Yeah, like I said, I got Houston and making the Final Four, beating North Carolina.
That's not a bad pick. Houston, if they got to shoot the ball well. That's like every team, but if Houston shoots the ball well with them 2 guards, they're tough to beat.
Yep.
Well, let me ask you this, Ryan. Who do you have in your Final Four?
I don't have anybody. My right now I have the only perfect bracket there is because I don't have anybody even filled out yet. I have to sleep on it.
As much as I hated to say it, I had Duke, I have Michigan, I have Tennessee, and I also have North Carolina in the Final Four.
I would say Duke and North Carolina. The other 2 I'm kind of up in the air.
I have Duke beating Michigan State.
Yep.
I have Michigan beating Gonzaga. I have Tennessee beating Virginia. And I have Houston beating North Carolina.
The only opposite thing is I have North Carolina. I just think they're just going to be too lengthwise for Houston.
You could be right.
Length is going to be the problem. If that gets to that matchup, length is going to be a matchup for them. And depth. Depth for Houston.
Yeah.
They're playing 7, 8 guys. You know how Roy Williams does. He's playing 10, 11 guys, and he's running 10, 11 athletes out there. That's going to be a tough matchup for him. But that's who I got. I got Duke playing North Carolina in the finals, and I got Duke winning it.
I've got Duke beating Houston.
Yeah.
It pained me. I wanted to put Michigan beating Duke. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's just...
And that's weird because I can see Michigan beating Gonzaga just
yes.
because of the athletes Michigan has.
Correct.
But I can't see Gonzaga beating Duke, and I can't see Michigan beating Duke.
Sometimes you go with coaches. Michigan, he's just a good NCAA tournament coach.
Yep.
And you're right. That's another reason why I picked Michigan because they've been there. He's does
it every year.
Yeah.
He does. Well, I guess we're going to take a break because we need Swish to do something over there. We'll take a break. We're going to come back with, I don't know, either Coach Dunleavy or Coach Tucker, one of the two. I'm going to get out of the seat, let Jags and one of those two get on board with us. So this is March Madness from Strikers at Holiday Lanes in Weirton. We'll be back after this.
Okay, so grab a pen and write this number down. You ready? 740-275-4581. All right, one more time. I know you're busy. 740-275-4581. That's the number you'll need for Big John's Auto at the bottom of Lincoln Avenue in Steubenville. Big John has sweet late model and used vehicles and would love the chance to sit down and talk with you about financing. Big John's Auto, a proud sponsor of this online broadcast. And remember the number, here we go, 740-275-4581. 881. Thanks, Big John.
Dilly dilly. You hear that and think of Bud Light. Bud Light, and you think of Waldorf Distributing in Beach Bottom. Waldorf Distributing features all your favorite brands of adult beverages. Check out their Facebook page for the latest in recommendations and reviews of new products like Bon and Viv Spiked Seltzer. Bon and Viv Spiked Seltzer delivers a bright taste and a hard-to-believe 0 grams of sugar and only 90 calories. Try Bon and Viv Spiked Seltzer today. Waldorf Distributing Company is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
Ohio Valley Sports Online wants to recognize one of our newest sponsors, Smokies Tobacco Outlet on Sunset Boulevard. Visit Smokies on Sunset for all the specials on tobacco and cigars. Smokies Tobacco Outlet is a proud sponsor of this broadcast. Visit Smokies soon.
When my son comes home to visit from Columbus, I always know to have Giannamore's Pizza here waiting for him. It never fails. Couple of days before he's coming home, I get a text. Mom, please remember Giannamore's. Thanks. Love you. So I call Giannamore's at 740-264-9371. I place my order, and either I go pick it up or they deliver. Sometimes I even order a frozen tray for my son to take back to Columbus and share with friends. They love it. Giannamore's Pizza. Oh, and not just pizza. There's salads, hoagies, ice cream, and now delicious homemade milkshakes. 740-264-9371. Giannamore's Pizza, Caddis Road, Wintersville.
Made Men Promotions is live pro boxing. Made Men Promotions focuses on consistently putting on exciting fights and developing talent to solidify their careers. For upcoming events, visit MadeMenBoxing.com. That's MadeMenBoxing.com. For fighters looking for sponsorship, promotion, or branding, look them up on Facebook at Made Men Promotions. Made Men Promotions is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
Dilly dilly. You hear that and think of Bud Light. Bud Light, and you think of Waldorf Distributing in Beach Bottom. Waldorf Distributing features all your favorite brands of adult beverages. Check out their Facebook page for the latest in recommendations and reviews of new products like Bon and Viv Spiked Seltzer. Bon and Viv Spiked Seltzer delivers a bright taste and a hard-to-believe 0 grams of sugar and only 90 calories. Try Bon and Viv Spiked Seltzer today. Waldorf Distributing Company is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ohio Valley Sports Online, broadcasting live until 7 o'clock tonight at Striker Sports Bar in the bowling alley, Holiday Lanes on Main Street in Weirton. Stop on by. Speaking of them, open for March Madness, which begins tomorrow. They'll be open Thursday and Friday at noon. We'll have food and beer specials and over 90. It's the craft beer headquarters. Over 90 beers on the menu. 90. I mean, I can't even find one flavor to drink, and they got 90. And then 20 different wing flavors, best in town, and I can attest to that because I eat every Wednesday night, and I'm not getting any thinner. So they got some really good food here. We now welcome our local high school coaches, Joe Dunleavy of Indian Creek, Sean Tucker of Toronto. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks
for having us.
You got a nice drive back today, Joe, from Columbus. I mean, I figured maybe, at your advanced age, you might be home and taking a nap or something.
Soon enough. That'll come soon.
You guys are local high school basketball coaches, and you've seen, you watch the NCAA tournament like we do all the time. And what I want to get into with you guys is, when you guys have a tournament, you pick a seed, right? I mean, you're able to go, okay, I want to go here. If Sean's the higher seed, I'm going to take this spot. Instead of lining them up, 116, 215, 4, whatever down the road. First of all, I want to know, do you like that kind of situation?
Jags, I kind of like it because it gives us an advantage. If you're having a down year, it kind of gives you an advantage to where you can find a easier road to kind of get out of and get out of, the sectional, which is, Eastern District, our Division IV sectional was probably one of the toughest in the state.
Mm-hmm.
And by us having the choice of being able to choose where we go in the bracket, kind of gives us a little bit of advantage, if you want to avoid certain teams. But there is a positive side of if you're pretty good that year,
yeah,
going to how the March Madness NCAA does it.
How about you, Joe?
I like the way we do it now.
Yeah.
Like for us this year, we went to East Liverpool. We got beat, but East Liverpool was a team we'd already played twice. We had a chance to beat them. We lost them home in overtime to them. We had a chance the last shot of the game and didn't get it done and got beaten overtime. And then we lost up there by 9 with a really good player not playing. So we figured we had a good shot, and then we would have had to play Cambridge or Indian Valley, who wasn't near as good as they were last year. They were good, but not near as good as. And then we would have played Cambridge, and then of course we'd had to play Fantastic and beat New Philly. Well, none of that happened, but we were a low seed. We were a low seed, and we got a chance to do that. Now, if everything's predetermined. We talked about this at the meeting in Columbus today, and one guy brought up a good point is that, in NCAA, the coaches aren't voting on their seeds. Yeah. It's kind of different because somebody else is determining who's 1 and who's 2 and who's 3. But in our it's the coaches that decide who gets seeded where. And I like it. I like it how it works out. I mean, last year we got to go down to St. Clairsville and play another team we'd already played twice, and they beat us twice, but we got to beat them in a sectional and got to go to the district. So I like it.
The reason why I asked is the lead into the college brackets, the way they do things here. It always seems like a Duke, a North Carolina, like Gonzaga this year, they're the number 1 seed in the West, and they're in the West. Duke and North Carolina are in the South and in the Southeast. And it always seems like teams like that get taken care of. They're not that far away from home, and I know they're going to bring the fans. And then you get some teams that have to go all the way across the country in order to play some of these teams. So that's what I wanted to ask is that, I don't think it's fair. It's supposed to be a neutral tournament, but it's anything but a neutral tournament, at least for the top maybe 8 teams in the country. And that's a decided disadvantage for these teams that have to go somewhere, like Farley Dickinson. I don't even know where they're from, but now they got to go play Gonzaga out west. I mean, if you're a team on the East Coast and got to go out west, you're talking about travel time, missing schoolwork, bringing tutors. I mean, there's a big disadvantage to that, and a great advantage to being close to home.
Agree. You got a lot of teams that, like last year, for example, WVU, you got a local fan base. They could have played here in Pittsburgh, very local, an hour drive, and, they're going clear across the country to play. Last year, for example. And then, this year, I feel bad for Tom Izzo and Michigan State because I think out of all the I think out of all the teams, they were the first number 2 seed team that didn't get a number 1, and they're going against the first number 1 seed.
Yeah.
In their bracket, and
it doesn't seem fair that you win a conference title. I mean, I know you only have 4 seeds, but do we ever see the day where we're going to have I guess maybe mini brackets? I mean, if you've got 16 teams, maybe having an 18 bracket in each all the way around, and then you get more number 1 seeds, better number 2 seeds. So Michigan State, instead of being a 2 seed, if you went to the 8 brackets instead of 4, they would get a number 1 seed, which I thought, I mean, it's hard to make an argument for anybody, outside the number 1 seeds. You only have 4 of them, so it's tough to find, the 4 and then go to the 2s because teams that maybe deserve a 1 aren't going to get a 1.
I think the thing that drives everything, though, even in the tournament, is money, and they're making a lot of money. And until that would change, it's not like I think the Eastern District's doing pretty well now financially because you have higher seeded team hosts, and you got big crowds for every game. Yeah. Like when we used to go down to OUE, you go down there, and even a team like Steubenville or us, that didn't travel well in basketball, but if you're Steubenville's playing at home or Indian Creek's playing at home, there's going to be people there, and
right.
The money all goes to the Eastern District. So I think that's what drives things. But I agree too. I was really surprised when Michigan State didn't get a number 1 seed, and then it seemed like they were a number 8 seed because they went in the same bracket as the number 1 seed. Am I right? They're in Duke's bracket.
Yeah, they're in Duke's bracket.
So I would think they would be in the same seed.
Yeah.
They got to be at least a 5. So they're out of 64 teams. So they should be with the 4, if anything.
Right. I mean, and you get 3 teams from the same conference, right?
Right.
Virginia, North Carolina, and Duke all in the
You
same
got
conference.
ACC.
And Gonzaga over there by themselves. But I mean, I know, I get it. I mean, North Carolina's good, and they're 27-5. Virginia's 29-3. Duke's 29-5. Gonzaga's 30-3. I get it there, but still, for some teams like a Michigan State, like a Kentucky, maybe not so much Tennessee because they'd lost several games down the stretch there, and Michigan, who lost several games down the stretch there. So Michigan State and Kentucky both have a beef about being a possible number one seeds, where I don't think those other two really do.
Well, Michigan State definitely has, because
Yeah.
you win the Big Ten tournament, and they beat Michigan 3 times, and I think there was a time when Michigan might have been the number one team in the country.
They were 17-0 one
Yeah,
time.
and they beat them 3 times in the last 3 weeks.
And Michigan State,
I don't
this is his best job, right? He's got 2
Yeah.
starters that are even out and haven't been playing for a
Yeah,
while.
I don't know what you got to do.
Well, and if you take a look, Jags, if you look at Buffalo too, Buffalo's traveling out west, and
Yeah.
I believe they're playing in Tulsa, first round, and I think if they advance, they end up playing in Anaheim, California. So, I mean, you're taking a team from Buffalo, and you're traveling clear across the country to play.
The Mac gets the shaft every time.
Right.
It's just
Right.
the way it is. But and plus they only get one representative, your
Right.
conference champion, which I don't agree with. I don't think you should take 8 to 10 teams from some of these other conferences. Look at Gonzaga. If St. Mary's doesn't beat them, if Gonzaga wins, probably St. Mary's might not get in. So those conference tournaments, you can get a team that gets hot at the right time, and then they win a championship game, so they're in, and Gonzaga's in. Now that takes a spot away from somebody who probably deserved to be in there more.
And if it was a lesser, if it wasn't Gonzaga, and it would have been one of those, whatever they call them, mid-major conferences,
Right.
that team could have been undefeated in the league and had a great record. They don't make the tournament because they got beat one time.
Beat in there, yeah.
And look at the Cinderella story last year. You had Chicago Loyola, and they upset everybody along the way.
yeah.
And they're a no team, nowhere to be found this year.
No, they got beat like in a quarterfinal or something like that of their own tournament. They had everybody back from last year, too, including their nun, the 98-year-old lady who prayed for him throughout the tournament.
She was only good luck for 1 year.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I was starting to wonder, but and then you look at some of these teams that don't even belong in there. I mean, because you win some crappy conference, you get in. And I said it in the first segment. I said, if you really want to make it fair, add one more round. Go to Joe Sagarin's computer rankings, take 120. You're only talking about one more round, 64 teams are gone.
A lot more money.
And then you don't have if you're 129th ranked team, you have no beef, 0 beef to be in there. So,
Right.
But then that would hurt the NIT, the not invited tournament, and these other ones that they got, the CBI or whatever else they call them, other tournaments.
Mountaineers tonight, CBI.
Mountaineers, Grand Canyon University.
Can you believe a team that's 14-20 gets to play another game against Grand Canyon, coached by Dan Marley, Thunder Dan, and Bob Huggins? That'll be a good one. But when I look, who do you like? I mean, who do you think is going to come out of each of these regions?
Well, I just picked one sitting on my computer desk at home, and I like Michigan State because I love Tom Izzo, and this is his time of the year, and I got him beating Duke. I might be crazy, but the way they played here lately, they're pretty good.
They play good defense too.
Yeah, and that's what wins at tournament time.
I got Bill Self. I'm a little bit surprised at Coach Dunleavy because, my entire life, growing up with him, it was always about Bill Self this, Bill Self that, and he has all these Bill Self videos and books. And I can't believe he's not taking Kansas. I'm taking Kansas to get pretty far and upset some people because of just the way Bill Self coaches in the tournament. And I like the way Tom Izzo's he's an NCAA tournament coach. I mean, depending upon whether he got great talent or not, I mean, he's one of the best in the business. But
You talk about Kansas. If they get through 2 games, guess who they line up with? North Carolina. That'd be a heck of a matchup there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Kansas State's lost a couple of guys too this year, and then losing in the tournament, they end up with probably the most losses this year than they've had in a long time under Self. They got 9 losses, which is almost unheard of for Kansas.
and they're playing really good basketball right now. They played really tough in the tournament. But that Iowa State team, that Big 12 team's pretty tough.
I look over in the West. Gonzaga's the number 1 seed. I think they got a fairly easy road, except for the fact that, Syracuse didn't have the kind of year that they usually have. But, that zone defense, Then at Bayheim, I don't think, and it doesn't seem like anybody figures it out. I mean, they lost 13 games, but they're not giving up a lot of points. You run into that, coming up in a couple of rounds, that might be a headache for Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Well, you got to look at there's my sleeper in that side. I like Murray State.
Yeah.
I think if Murray State can get an opportunity against Florida State and upset Florida State, I think they got an opportunity to get there.
Marquette has lost like 5 out of the last 6 games or something, and so they're ripe for the picking there with Murray State. And the Racers always seem to have a pretty nice program, 27-4. You look at, and we were talking about in the first segment, usually the teams that, you always have like a 13-4 upset or a 12-5 upset.
12-5.
Yeah, it's the higher. And those teams have everything to play for and nothing to lose, and that's what makes them dangerous.
I like Florida State too. I've watched them a few times this year. I think they're scary.
Hey, we have to. We're going to take a quick timeout. Ryan's going to step in here. I want you guys to stay here, and we got a guy on the phone that Ryan's got, and I don't know if you guys will recognize his name or not, but I don't. So let's take a timeout. We'll be back with more coming up after these messages.
With over 25 years of security experience, Buckeye Security and Investigations LLC is who you need to turn to for all of your security needs, offering security guard services, private investigations, and low-cost cellular monitoring, along with state-of-the-art IP cameras and recorders with remote view applications. Buckeye Security and Investigations LLC can serve all of your security camera and access control needs. Buckeye Security Investigations LLC is a locally owned and operated company. Contact Buckeye Security and Investigations LLC at 740-264-5904 today.
When my son comes home to visit from Columbus, I always know to have Giannamore's Pizza here waiting for him. It never fails. Couple of days before he's coming home, I get a text. Mom, please remember Giannamore's. Thanks. Love you. So I call Giannamore's at 740-264-9371. I place my order, and either I go pick it up or they deliver. Sometimes I even order a frozen tray for my son to take back to Columbus and share with friends. They love it. Giannamore's Pizza. Oh, and not just pizza. There's salads, hoagies, ice cream, and now delicious homemade milkshakes. 740-264-9371. Giannamore's Pizza, Caddis Road, Wintersville.
And we are back, Ohio Valley Sports Online with Indian Creek basketball coach Joe Dunleavy and Toronto High School basketball coach Sean Tucker. And we are now joined by Jeff Rickard, 107 The Fan in Indianapolis, along with some other things that he does on Sirius XM and all that other business. So, Jeff, welcome aboard. We're awesome. And you're joined here by two esteemed Ohio Valley coaches, as I mentioned, Joe Dunleavy and Sean Tucker. And we're just breaking down March Madness, and we just had a little chat about how the Hoosiers played last night. And give us your thoughts on this tournament and what you think, and especially you and I talked off the air about Michigan State probably, having to be, or they should have been a number one seed, but they weren't. But what are your thoughts, and what's the national audience saying about that? Yeah, I think it did, and that's what Coach Dunleavy was mentioning here earlier, that, Michigan State had beaten Michigan 3 times and, late in the season, and so it does kind of make you scratch your head a little bit about what's going on. Looking at your bracket, how's it look? What do you think? I mean, is Duke that team that everybody's trying to knock off the top of the pyramid, or is there some sleeper in there that could come up and knock them off? Guys, do you have any questions? I mean, for Jeff, you have any comments?
Uh, Jeff, you're in Bloomington? Indianapolis. Oh, okay. Okay. Are you an IU fan? Oh, okay. Okay. How long you been in Indianapolis? Okay. Okay.
You're a well-traveled human being from the West to the Midwest, I guess. And
Uh, reason I was asking because when I started out, the guy that I went to see 3 different clinics all over the country and got everything he ever wrote or did on video was the guy that used to be the coach at Indiana, but he was long gone before you got there, I guess. Well, there's a guy in Ohio that loves him too, and part of the thing is, you never heard anything bad. You never heard anything about recruiting violations or academic fraud or any of that stuff. And there's a lot of other guys that are much more revered around the country, and to me, they're kind of what you call phonies. The things happen in their program they don't know nothing about, that kind of stuff. But that guy ran a clean program. He might have yelled and screamed, but he coached and ran a good program.
all right, Jeff, we talked a little bit about the sleeper of the tournament. We've all kind of said ours. Who's yours? Yep.
Pritchard's a player.
I think that's what it was. I was just looking at that earlier. Yep. Yep.
I lost audio. You can hear him. It's always something.
All right, folks, in the Ohio Valley and around the country, there you've heard it. Jeff Rickard for 107 The Fan in Indianapolis. Jeff, we appreciate your time, and I guess you can give yourself a little shameless plug. Where can our listeners find you? I know they can find you all over the airwaves, but where can they find you? We lost you. You there? No, I didn't. We didn't hear the Sirius XM part. Do you have time to sleep? I was going to say, you got two boys. so there's no time to sleep. You're either on the air or being a dad. So, in a bike ride every now and again. All right, man. We appreciate your time, and I will definitely be in touch. Go enjoy those kids, the family, the dog, the bike rides, and we'll make sure that we catch you on the airwaves. Jeff Rickard from 107.5 The Fan in Indianapolis and Sirius XM Radio. We are at Strikers in Weirton, West Virginia, open for March Madness Thursday and Friday at noon. Food and beer specials. 90 craft beers on the menu. Stop down and check them out. 20 different rings and flavors, and they're the best in town. This is Ohio Valley Sports Online, and we'll be back after this.
You can count on Kane for residential real estate listings, commercial listings, and auctions, serving clients since 1956 with offices in East Springfield and Steubenville. Kane combines real estate and auctioneering to offer several options for the sale of real estate or private property. You can count on Kane. Call them today or go to countonkane.com. That's easy. It's countonkane.com for Kane Realty.
Okay, so grab a pen and write this number down. You ready? 740-275-4581. All right, one more time. I know you're busy. 740-275-4581. 81. That's the number you'll need for Big John's Auto at the bottom of Lincoln Avenue in Steubenville. Big John has sweet late model and used vehicles and would love the chance to sit down and talk with you about financing. Big John's Auto, a proud sponsor of this online broadcast. And remember the number, here we go, 740-275-4581. Thanks, Big John. You can go just about anywhere to buy a wreath for your front door, a floral swag for your mantle, or even a vase full of fresh or artificial flowers to brighten your home for spring. But if you want to step out of the box and really get moving on beautifying the look and feel of your home, consult free with M. Colares Fleurs. Shelley Colares pays you a personal visit, listens to your ideas, shares her ideas, then spins them into the most spectacular display of florals ever. To brighten your home for spring, check out Shelley's unique creations on Facebook. It's M. Colares Fleurs, F-L-E-U-R-S. It's French for flowers, you know. Or call Shelley personally to set up your appointment, 740-317-5143. M. Colares Fleurs. It's French for flowers, you know.
With over 25 years of security experience, Buckeye Security and Investigations LLC is who you need to turn to for all of your security needs, offering security guard services, private investigations, and low-cost cellular monitoring, along with state-of-the-art IP cameras and recorders with remote view applications. Buckeye Security and Investigations LLC can serve all of your security camera and access control needs. Buckeye Security Investigations LLC is a locally owned and operated company. contact Buckeye Security and Investigations LLC at 740-264-5904 today.
Made Men Promotions is live pro boxing. Made Men Promotions focuses on consistently putting on exciting fights and developing talent to solidify their careers. For upcoming events, visit MadeMenBoxing.com. That's MadeMenBoxing.com. For fighters looking for sponsorship, promotion, or branding, look them up on Facebook at Made Men Promotions. Made Men Promotions is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ohio Valley Sports Online. We're broadcasting live from Stryker Sports Bar at Holiday Lanes in downtown Weirton. Don't forget their March Madness is open tomorrow and Friday at noon. Food and beer specials, their craft beer headquarters. 90 different beers on the menu, along with 20 different wing flavors, the best in town. So with Sean Tucker and Joe Dunleavy of Toronto and Indian Creek. And, Joe had a good idea. I mean, I like what you're talking about. If Michigan State is the 5 seed, if you rank your teams 1 to 24, so you have your top 4 seeds, that's your top 4, and then team number 5 would go into the weakest number 1. Team 6 will go into second, team 7 into third, like that. And you could do that up and down, that rotation like that, and you'd have, your first 4 seeds set up pretty good. I like that idea.
I like that too.
But it's just that, of course, it's not going to happen because it makes sense, and we know that it's all driven by money, of course. And you get these. What about these playing games? I don't like the playing game. First 4 out or whatever they call it, and then it's teams like Farley Dickinson and Prairie View, for Pete's sake. I mean, if you're going to go that, then why don't you go to 4 teams, bigger teams that might have got left out, like a North Carolina State and whoever that would be, and then have them get in and then get in a tournament.
Well, I agree with what you're saying, but what you said earlier, if you're going to go 4, why not just go?
Another round.
Yeah, and do it. Those teams that are the bottom 64, have them play Tuesday and Wednesday, so that the top 64 get an advantage. Because we got 8 teams playing, 4 last night, 4 tonight.
Yeah.
And then those 4 teams have to go, play somewhere.
Yeah. It's just, I just don't get how they do that. I mean, if you do, if we're talking about being driven by money, one more round is a lot of extra money with that many teams.
Yeah, and it's I look, some of these teams are, they're not like all like Prairie View or teams like that. What do you got up here? Is that Arizona State?
Arizona State's playing tonight against St. John's, and the winner plays Buffalo.
And Temple got beat last night, didn't they?
Yeah, by Belmont.
Yeah.
So that's one, and then where was the other ones at? I think they were all on that side, actually, of the bracket. North Carolina Central against North Dakota State, Belmont, Temple, Dickinson, and Prairie View, and then Arizona State and St. John. So Arizona State and St. John's are 2, to me, Division I programs. These other ones are, let's put West Liberty in there.
Yeah.
Well, when you got all these teams, Jags, like how the high school formats are, is when you have multiple teams, you have that pigtail game. So why not add another round and have your 1s and your 2s be that bye game that they're already sitting there waiting for whoever's in that pigtail game to get there. You add another round, you add more teams, more money. The only problem is venue space. Where are you going to play them?
Yeah, that's the thing too. I mean, and why do you think? I mean, do you guys know the answers to why these games are in Dayton?
I was listening to the game.
Is that a hotbed? I mean,
I don't know. I was listening to my game or the game in my car last night on the radio, and they said Dayton has the most NCAA tournament games of any venue in the country. It opened in the 70s, and I forget what they said, like 100 and some games. I don't know why they're at Dayton, but they're there every year.
I mean, really, it's not a far drive for us.
No.
But, it's just that it's Dayton. It's not like you're having it in Indianapolis or a big venue. Or having it at the venue that whatever team wins, they go right into their next game at that venue. They one-stop shopping, you stay right there. And it's not going to be an advantage for the team that just played there because they're going to be a 16 seed or, whatever it is seed. So it's not going to be that big of an advantage.
It might be because how Dayton hosts it and then the crowd and the people back it and everything like that. That's the only thing I could think of.
It must be worth it for them. Hey, before I go any further, Coach Tucker, two Red Knights get All-State honors, Nate Carafa and Troyan West, third team and honorable mention. That's a pretty nice thing there for you guys.
Yeah, it was an outstanding accomplishment by both young men. Well deserved, very well deserved by both athletes. Nate's 4-year letterman, 1,374 career points and counting. He still has OVAC game, Player of the Year, Division 4, and North-South selection. Division 1 baseball player going to Ohio State, and you got Trillion West, probably one of the top two hardest workers I've ever coached in 13 years. Just an unbelievable kid, an unbelievable athlete, and just great honors.
And I want to add to that. I've seen Sean's kids in the gym, and I know how hard they work. And we try to tell our kids every day, there's no magic wand. Everything's so fast nowadays. 30-minute television shows, Twitter's so fast, but it's hard to be good as a basketball player because it takes an awful lot of time. And I've seen Trillion work. I know how hard he works. I know how hard all Sean's kids work. Mm-hmm. And a Carafa kid, you got to compliment a kid because in this day and age when adults are trying to talk kids out of playing multiple sports, the people that really know, college coaches, want their kids playing multiple sports.
Yeah.
There's a throwback right there. Football, basketball, baseball. And that young man out there at Harrison Central, same way, just scored his 1,000 points as a sophomore.
Right.
He's their quarterback, and he plays baseball. And that's old school. That's the way it used to be when we were growing up, that those guys all played 3 sports, 2 sports, whatever.
Well,
and that's what I like. I got to compliment Carafa because I'm sure that he's been told 1,000 times, I don't know why you're doing that. Well, you do it because you're a Toronto kid.
You love it.
You love it. You love your teammates. And I know they love their coaches.
Yeah.
So that's
that leads me into this question, and I'll ask you guys the same question I asked when we did Sean's game against Malvern. We had Brian Perkins come in at halftime and talk to us. And football is the sport in this valley. I mean, everybody knows that. It's what drives it. What puts money in for your other sports and everything. How difficult is it? Because everybody wants a piece of your time if you're these kids. I mean, if you're the football coach, you want them in the weight room lifting, doing this. If you're the basketball coach, hey, basketball's coming up right after that. I don't want you just for like a week all of a sudden start to concentrate on basketball. And baseball, same thing. So how do you go about it? Do you have some kind of do you meet with each of the 3 coaches and say, okay, I need this much time, I need this much time? How does that work?
With us, there's no bigger basketball fan than Andrew Conner. And, like I said, my son played for him. His son played for me. He's a big fan. We don't have conflicts. The conflicts that happen are when adults outside talk to kids. They just can't leave them alone. Let them enjoy their high school years and have fun. My son played football, basketball, baseball, legion ball, and then he did football, basketball, baseball, legion. He wouldn't trade it for the world. He had a blast, and then he had an opportunity to go play baseball in college.
Yeah.
And most of our kids, if you look at Alex Young, if you look at Mikey Furta, if you look at Nico Otto, all these kids that have gone and done stuff, they play multiple sports. And I don't know why people do that to kids. Just leave them alone.
Yeah. I asked, well, go ahead, Sean. I'll let you answer.
Well, that that's a good point that you bring up, because if you look at Nate Carafa's interview that he had last week with Mr. Lumen in the Herald Star, one of the things that he stated was Ohio State coach was extremely impressed on all 3 sports and how they encourage their athletes and their recruits that they go see. We want 3-sport athletes. We don't want these 1-sport athletes that are just focusing on AAU or strictly travel baseball or just football. But I do know that at Toronto we have a very good relationship amongst us coaches. Josh Frankie, new football coach. Young guy, very energetic.
Yeah, we like him. We've had him on our show.
I wish he would slow down a little bit because I'm not getting any younger and trying to keep up. But it does a fantastic job, and he's doing more and more and more. With the football program, usually it's they come from July until they come see me. Now it's all year round, and that's a good thing because our guys are out there doing things.
Sure.
And then. Obviously, we have an outstanding baseball program. We've been known for baseball for many, many years. And basketball kind of like was the third wheel,
Yeah,
you
the
know.
forgotten sport.
And we're doing good things, but we're doing good things together.
Yeah.
It's not just, basketball is where it's at now because of one particular person or,
Yeah.
or one team. It's there because you got a group of coaches that are working together for the betterment of all the kids. And we try to encourage, Josh, Frankie, and I, we talk all the time about, hey, I want to get this kid out for football. Can you talk to him? Absolutely. And you need that. You need that great relationship. And then when you turn around when you're coaching and you see the head football coach sitting right behind your bench, with his wife and his family, that means something. That means something to the kids. The kids see that and they like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
yeah.
That's a joy, for them, and that's where you get the buy-in.
Yeah.
Coach was talking about Andrew Connor. He's one of the best. When you talk about people that care about kids, he's one of the best. And what he produces every year and gets out of those kids is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
You don't see many Division I athletes, leaving Indian Creek to go play football somewhere, Notre Dame and Ohio State or that. But I tell you what, they play their souls out because they believe in that guy.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the guy that's sitting next to me. And that's all about him. And I know he doesn't ever take credit for it or anything else, but he's a real reason why kids play as hard as they do, because you have great leaders like Joe Dunleavy, who's influenced men for many, many years.
For love of the game.
And for the love of the game. And he's one of the reasons why I'm the man I am today and why I coach high school basketball, because of him. And just to let you know, Jags, he's been doing this so long, and he's been Indian Creek's only basketball coach in the history of the school.
Since what, 93?
93, 94.
26
years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's not to mention, what he's done at Mingo, and he's been in the school district his entire coaching career. And that speaks volumes. And one of the greatest moments of my coaching career was never winning sectional titles or anything like that. And one of the greatest moments of my coaching career was being able to nominate him for the Hall of Fame. And next Thursday at this time, he'll be inducted into the District 5 Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame, which is well-deserved. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do a very good speech that night, so I'm going to have to have the best coach in my house, Coach Wendy Tucker, do the speech for me, so that way, I'll be able to get words out, because this man means the world to me, and I wouldn't be the guy I am today without him, and that's why these kids play so hard for him. And it's good coaches like him and Andrew Connor that set the tone for a lot of coaches in the Valley.
Yeah. Well, hey, guys, appreciate you guys coming on today. I got to go out there and try and bowl, and these guys will come in. But appreciate you guys taking time out of your days to come out and talk about the tournament and about your programs. We look forward to, next year. I mean, it comes fast. I mean, whatever sport it is, it comes fast. So
Sure does.
thanks for coming on today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Joe
you very
Dunleavy
much.
of Indian Creek, Sean Tucker of Toronto. We're going to step aside. Jason and Billy and Ryan will rejoin you. I got to go bowl and let these guys go. So we'll be back after these messages.
101, 102, 100. Robert, what are you doing? Just counting all the great used cars we have at the best prices at Thomas Auto Center.
Over 100 used vehicles in stock. All makes and models. Like this certified pre-owned 2017 Ram. Only 19,000 miles. Plus, no credit, bad credit, Thomas can help.
So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Thomas Auto Center.
Ball Road, St. Clairsville.
Okay, so grab a pen and write this number down. You ready? 740-275-4581. All right, one more time. I know you're busy. 740-275-4581. That's the number you'll need for Big John's Auto at the bottom of Lincoln Avenue in Steubenville. Big John has sweet late model and used vehicles and would love the chance to sit down and talk with you about financing. Big John's Auto, a proud sponsor of this online broadcast. And remember the number, here we go, 740 275-4581. Thanks, Big John.
Be who you want to be at EGCC. Be who you want to be.
Be who you want
at
to be.
EGCC.
EGCC.
Be who you want to be.
Be who you want
at
to be.
EGCC.
EGCC. EGCC. EGCC. EGCC.
Be who you want to be.
Be who you want
at
to be.
EGCC.
EGCC.
Get your message heard by advertising with us, Ohio Valley Sports Online. Email us, ohiovalleysportsonline@gmail.com.
You can count on Kane for residential real estate listings, commercial listings, and auctions, serving clients since 1956 with offices in East Springfield and Steubenville. Kane combines real estate and auctioneering to offer several options for the sale of real estate or private property. You can count on Kane. Call them today or go to countonkane.com. That's easy. It's countonkane.com for Kane Realty.
With over 25 years of security experience, Buckeye Security and Investigations LLC is who you need to turn to for all of your security needs, offering security guard services, private investigations, and low-cost cellular monitoring, along with state-of-the-art IP cameras and recorders with remote view applications. Buckeye Security and Investigations LLC can serve all of your security camera and access control needs. Buckeye Security Investigations LLC is a locally owned and operated company. Contact Buckeye Security and Investigations LLC at 740-264-5904 today.
You can go just about anywhere to buy a wreath for your front door, a floral swag for your mantle, or even a vase full of fresh or artificial flowers to brighten your home for spring. But if you want to step out of the box and really get moving on beautifying the look and feel of your home, consult free with M. Colares Fleurs. Shelley Colares pays you a personal visit, listens to your ideas, shares her ideas, then spins them into the most spectacular display of florals ever. To brighten your home for spring, check out Shelley's unique creations on Facebook. It's M. Colares Fleurs, F-L-E-U-R-S. It's French for flowers, you know. Or call Shelley personally to set up your appointment, 740-317-5143. M. Colares Fleurs. It's French for flowers, you know.
Dilly dilly, you hear that and think of Bud Light. Bud Light, you think of Waldorf Distributing in Beach Bottom. Waldorf Distributing features all your favorite brands of adult beverages. Check out their Facebook page for the latest in recommendations and reviews of new products like Bon and Viv Spike Seltzer. Bon and Viv Spike Seltzer delivers a bright taste and a hard-to-believe 0 grams of sugar and only 90 calories. Try Bon and Viv Spike Seltzer today. Waldorf Distributing Company is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
All right, we're back. Strikers Sports Bar, Weirton, West Virginia. Ryan Nolan, Billy Ellis, Jason Jenkins. Jags is left. Coach Tucker's left. Coach Dunleavy's left. And this show is sure to go right down the drain.
Is Coach Haney coming?
Now that we've,
He
I
has
don't
a
know,
sports
they got their
banquet.
sports banquet.
Says he's going to try to make it later.
So now we've gone completely down the drain with the three of us.
Yes.
We've gotten all the analysis. We've gotten all the expert opinion on the tournament that starts at noon tomorrow. And speaking of which, you can stop over here to Strikers. They're going to open at noon tomorrow for March Madness Thursday and Friday. Food and beer specials. Come and check out their craft beer specials. They have 90 craft beers. They're the craft beer headquarters in the Ohio Valley. 20 different wing features or flavors. Well, they could feature their wings too.
Yeah, sure.
And they're the best in town. Maybe we'll have some wings when we're done with this.
Tell you what,
we can watch Jags Bowl. That'll be pretty
If
funny.
you've never come to Strikers, or if you have folks that are listening, it's a great atmosphere.
It's cool.
You got the bowling, the bar, and the food is phenomenal. And if you get a chance to come over here within the next hour, you want to see a real feat, come out and watch our colleague Jags bowl.
The only downfall of it, Jace, is Lucky's not there. We could have seen them both bowl at the same time. That would be great.
Yeah, Lucky's actually not too bad. Dave DeBeasy. Jags is, I mean, he's hit and miss. It's just funny watching them when they miss. Him and Lucky. Lucky will bowl a strike,
Uh-huh.
2 or 3 strikes in a row, then bowl 2 gutter balls in a row.
So we've looked at all the brackets. We've done our predictions. Some of us don't agree with what others are saying, but to wrap, not to really wrap it up because we've got 45 minutes left, but it looks like Duke is probably that team to beat. And there's some others that are kind of scattered in there. And, Coach Tucker had his opinion. He really likes the Oregon Ducks. And I don't know. That's what some of the experts are saying, too. So what do you guys think?
Now, a team gets hot. Oregon got hot at the right time. I mean, it reminds everybody of UConn. I think it was 5-6 years ago.
Kevin Ollie.
And Kevin Ollie's their coach, and they get hot. You get hot at the right time, and you run off 4 or 5 wins in the Big East, and then bang, you win. You're on a roll.
Mm-hmm.
And bang, you win 6. You're the national champ. I mean, just like I think they were a 7 seed when they won it. That's basketball. But it's tough to say that now because of talent that some of these teams have. I mean, Duke's got 3 first-round picks, guys.
Right. Yeah.
They're going to go 1, 2, 5. They said.
North Carolina's got 2, 3. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
that's
they're right
pretty,
there.
That's pretty good, isn't it? Let's talk about that for a minute because it's something that we haven't touched on. We've touched on the whole bracketology part of things,
Yeah.
but a few weeks ago, Zion Williamson goes down with an injury, knee injury. Everybody says, well, this guy shouldn't come back, blah, blah, blah. He comes back, and he made a statement about it. He said he wasn't going to let his teammates down and what have you. And I think that's, I think that says a lot about the kid's character more than anything else because, as we've all said, he's a one-and-done guy. After this tournament, it's done for him. He's going to sign the huge contract. But, I mean, I think it is just because he's finishing out his obligation to the school. Is it a good decision for him to come back?
Well, it comes down to it's the kid himself, and it's the way you're growing up. He's like when he did his interview, he didn't want to let his teammates down. That's the problem with kids these days. It's more of an I instead of team.
Oh yeah.
Let me get my eye up there as fast as I can. Me. And this kid wanted to be, like they said, he passes the basketball. I mean, he can shoot it 40 times a game.
And
if
to
he
your
wants.
point, not just in college basketball, in society anymore, it's all about I, me. And just like it's not just basketball, it drives me nuts. College football players sitting out that last bowl game. How many players do we say, no, I'm not going to play one game?
One game.
Because of insurance reasons. They just don't put. And so I love what he did. Anybody that's a real athlete to me wants to keep playing. I mean,
Correct. They want to play. They want to play the sport they started to play.
Right.
And you make a commitment to your teammates. Your
Yeah.
teammates need you, and you made a commitment at the beginning of the year to be a Duke basketball player to play that year. It might be 1 year, but you made a commitment to those kids to come. I'm going to finish out. I'm going to finish what I started.
Mm-hmm.
And I applaud him for it.
Me too.
'cause I applaud the kid for it. And he's like you said, he could have sat out. He's the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. He's going to get a $100 million shoe deal.
Let me ask you this, both of you guys. I've been advocating some kind. I don't know, how you could do it, but when you sign that scholarship, something in there that if you leave early,
You pay it back.
you pay back.
I believe
That's
it.
the universe. If you sit out that bowl game in football, you pay back so much money because you have cost your teammates and team.
Well, I believe I'm with you on the sitting out part. What you do now is when you made it a 4-team playoff, this is just my opinion, and you take the 5th, the 6th team, the 7th team. Hell, we can go back to my team, Ohio State. Hell, Nick Bosa got hurt the 3rd game of the season. Ohio State's knocking at the door to get in.
Mm-hmm.
What if they get in? Does he come? I'm out. I dropped out of school. But that 4-team playoff hurts a lot of other small schools that, like McCaffrey from Stanford, about I think it was 3 or 4 years ago.
3 years ago.
He's not playing in that Final Four. And he doesn't need money where he came from. McCaffrey doesn't. So I don't see why that didn't play a role.
Well, if you look
in
at
it.
half of Michigan's defense this year,
Yeah, and you play. Correct.
Well, now that we've kind of digressed into football talk, we're going to kind of switch gears since it is the spring after all, and we are talking about college basketball, and that starts tomorrow at noon. We take a look around the TVs here at Strikers, and we've got baseball coming up, and I know that's that's a big thing for all of us. We've all kind of grown up around the game, and we've got something pretty cool coming up that we'd like to announce now. But on April 1st, Ohio Valley Sports Online will be at the Clark Bar and Grill in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for opening day for the Pittsburgh Pirates. We're going to be doing a show there from 10 to 1. So listen for that. Check it out. We're going to have updates and hopefully some pretty cool giveaways once we get all the pieces in place. But we do know that is going to take place at the Clark Bar and Grill in Pittsburgh on April 1st for opening day. But we look around the TVs. Baseball's on the TVs. They've played a couple of regular season games already, and who do you guys like? The Pirates have a pretty decent pitching staff, but I don't know what else they have.
That division's the best in baseball. If we're going to go down that, I mean, that's just tough. The Cubs are good. St. Louis is good. Milwaukee's good. I mean, the Reds upgraded everywhere. They're good. And the Pirates got to hit. That's the key for the Pirates. If they hit, they got a shot. If they don't hit, they're going to be the same 81. Start putting it out there. 80, whatever. They're going to be a 500
team.
500
Putting
team.
it out there, they don't have a shot.
Come on. Jace, the season ain't even started yet.
Come on. Until you start, as what's his name, Mark Madden says, free Nutting's wallet. Free Nutting's wallet. Until he starts opening that wallet, they don't have a shot.
Yeah, that's pretty true. But I mean, some small market teams with less payrolls have gone on and won, but not very many. And we all know what the Pittsburgh sports fan is like. Once they start to lose, it goes down a path of just nothing good can happen of it. But that's one of the things. But what was it yesterday? Mike Trout, he broke the record with a large contract, the biggest in baseball now, right? So we had it for a couple weeks now. He's the highest paid player.
I was making a joke at work today. He should probably give a little percentage of that to Bryce Harper, for Bryce Harper telling him he wanted to come to Philly in 2 years. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, the Angels heard that and was like, we better get him wrapped
Locked up
right
forever.
now.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Great move by the Angels, though, too. They keep, their cornerstone, the best player in baseball there for the rest of his career.
Correct. You can always fly back to Philly whenever you want with that much money.
Right.
Yeah, you can own Philadelphia if you want.
He's now
for that. It's pretty cool.
He's now the second smartest person in baseball to me, and the first, Mr. Bobby Bonilla.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
July 1st up until 2035.
That's the greatest contract ever. That was kind of like the Charlie Weiss contract in football. You got fired and ended up retiring from the Chiefs and still was paid up until last year. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. We got Dan Swishvogel down there turning the dials, checking things out. He can't talk to us today, so we just have to. We got to make it up.
He come up with a great idea. I like this. I think we should probably do this again.
What is it?
This weekly thing.
I like it. I like
the
weekly idea.
I love it. We talked about having even people call in.
Yes.
The sponsor sheet.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Let me check it out because we can mention them. We got some time here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to thank some of these great sponsors that stepped up to the plate today to bring this March Madness show to you. That's Thomas Auto Center, Kane Realty, Waldorf Distributing, Gianna Moore's Pizza, Big John's Auto, Buckeye Security and Investigations. Try to stay away from them unless you need them. You don't want to be on the other. You don't want to be on the other side of that fence. M. Caloris Fleur, Made Men Promotions, Smokies on Sunset. And we have to give a special mention to Stryker Sports Bar here in the Holiday Lanes in Weirton. It's a pretty cool place, folks. We've got baseball coming up. We've got football coming up. If you want to get on board and do some advertising with us, check us out on Facebook. You can find us at Ohio Valley Sports Online. You can find us on the internet at OhioValleySportsOnline.com. You want to get in touch with us, it's Ohio Valley Sports Online at gmail.com, or, see myself or Billy, Jason, Dan, Jags, everybody knows Jags, and say that you want to get on board. Our audience has grown exponentially over the last 3 years, and this has become a pretty fun venture for all of us.
Yes, I was going to ask you, Ryan. What? I know the numbers are just going. I mean, weren't we over 10,000, 11,000?
We're over. We're almost at like 15,000.
Oh, 15. So I'm way behind.
15,500. Yeah, you're way behind. That's all right though.
15,000. 15,120.
There we go. See, that's a real number. That's a right away number, and people are getting value for their advertising dollar, and that's one thing we want them to continue to have, and that's why they're coming to us. We're trying to bring them a good, somewhat, now with the three of us sitting here, somewhat professional product. But I think it's great, and it's been a lot of fun. Our baseball schedule's finished.
We start Monday.
Of course, you guys do. I don't.
Also, folks, not to interrupt you, Dan, but please, people that are listening, when you go to these sponsors, please, maybe give them a mention. Hey, I heard your ad on Ohio Valley Sports Online. I heard your ad on the football, baseball, basketball.
They'll throw you right out of the place.
Just to let them know that they are, getting a bang for their buck. And I know, like John Gianamore at the pizza shop has told me that.
Oh yeah.
People have heard, their commercial and they love it.
And we are doing video on YouTube as well. I forgot to mention that. Dan wouldn't even ride home with me if I didn't mention that. But we did have a baseball schedule. I think Jags had it finished. Does he have it with him? Do you guys know if he has it with him?
I do not. Maybe we'll take a break. We'll go out and ask
we'll
him.
take a break and ask him.
Get a video of him bowling.
We
Yeah,
will. We'll take the live video out there and get him a video of him bowling. But we're going to take a break just for a couple of minutes. This is Ryan Nolan, Billy Ellis, Jason Jenkins, Dan Swishvogel from Strikers Sports Bar, Holiday Lanes in Weirton. This is Ohio Valley Sports Online March Madness Special. And boy, folks, it is madness.
Your daughter is going to look spectacular in her prom gown, but who's going to design her bouquet? M. Colares Florals, of course. Shelley Colares has this special ability to create the most unique, eye-catching, breathtaking floral creations, and whether she uses fresh or artificial flowers, her unique creative style will enhance your daughter's beauty on prom night. Visit Shelley on Facebook at M. Colares Fleurs. It's F-L-E-U-R-S. It's French for flowers, or call to place your order at 740-317-5143. Oh, and be sure to order your welcome spring and Easter wreaths ASAP. It takes Shelley time to design and create an extra special one just for you. Check out her creations on Facebook today. M. Colares Fleurs. Fleur is French for flowers, of course.
Made Men Promotions is live pro boxing. Made Men Promotions focuses on consistently putting on exciting fights and developing talent to solidify their careers. For upcoming events, visit MadeMenBoxing.com. That's MadeMenBoxing.com. For fighters looking for sponsorship, promotion, or branding, look them up on Facebook at Made Men Promotions. Made Men Promotions is a proud sponsor of this broadcast. Ohio Valley Sports Online wants to recognize one of our newest sponsors, Smoky's Tobacco Outlet on Sunset Boulevard. Visit Smoky's on Sunset for all the specials on tobacco and cigars. Smoky's Tobacco Outlet is a proud sponsor of this broadcast. Visit Smoky's soon.
Dilly dilly! You hear that and think of Bud Light. Bud Light, you think of Waldorf Distributing in Beach Bottom. Waldorf Distributing features all your favorite brands of adult beverages. Check out their Facebook page for the latest in recommendations and reviews of new products like Bon & Viv Spike Seltzer. Bon & Viv Spike Seltzer delivers a bright taste and a hard-to-believe 0 grams of sugar and only 90 calories. Try Bon & Viv Spike Seltzer today. Waldorf Distributing Company is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
You can go just about anywhere to buy a wreath for your front door, a floral swag for your mantle, or even a vase full of fresh or artificial flowers to brighten your home for spring. But if you want to step out of the box and really get moving on beautifying the look and feel of your home, consult free with M. Colares Fleurs. Shelley Colares pays you a personal visit, listens to your ideas, shares her ideas, then spins them into the most spectacular display of florals ever to brighten your home for spring. Check out Shelley's unique creations on Facebook. It's M. Colares Fleurs, F-L-E-U-R-S. It's French for flowers, you know. Or call Shelley personally to set up your appointment, 740-317-5143. M. Colares Fleurs. It's French for flowers, you know.
Are we back?
We're back.
We are back. Well, we're back at Ohio Valley Sports Online at Strikers at the Holiday Lanes in Weirton, West Virginia, and we are joined by Charlie Whiteman, and he said he's going to wing it because he doesn't have a script, but I do, and it says they have 20 different wing flavors and the best in town. So let's talk about the wings, Charlie.
You got it, man. Secret to it is making sure you maintain good fryers, and we definitely do that. We got some interesting flavors, stuff that guys make stuff up. They bring it in, and we serve it, and everybody likes it. So I've got some pretty cool concoctions.
Stuff you make it up as you go along. That's not a bad thing because
No,
it's kind of like what we try to do here.
One of the ones we made up, it's called Eric sauce because the guy's name's Eric. He brought it into us. So, but everybody loves it.
That's cool. Tell us what we got going on here at Strikers. This is I'm gonna be completely transparent. It's the first time that I've been in here, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I bought the place 3 years ago, and we really wanted to make the sports bar kind of its own entity, and so we added a bunch of TVs, we changed furniture, we had the outdoor deck. We're up to 90 different beers. We serve a bunch of different craft beers. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. We just brought in new bar stools, big comfy bar stools for everybody today. I have another renovation project going on outside. We're going to continue to cover the whole deck out there, but it's kind of neat. We have an outdoor bar. So, you know, guys enjoy being outside in the summer. It gives them something to do out there. So, but that's open all year round as well.
Yeah, I see that you've got the cover on there right now where you've got heaters and speakers. You mentioned to me that, you've got that stuff out there. And this is a pretty hopping place. And
thanks.
And you've got some big things that are coming up here in a year or two that you're pretty excited about. But, the bowling league that's going on tonight, how long does that league go on? I mean, I know it goes for a while because Jags bowls.
Yeah, Jags, he's my man. They're 5-man teams.
You're his only friend, by the way.
I was gonna say, and he tries to bowl.
He tries.
He tries.
It's probably not real
He's
pretty.
here every week, I'll say that.
Yeah, he's taking up airspace.
He's here for the wings.
For sure. No, it's 5-person teams. It's 35 weeks out of the year. We started up in September, run it through about the end of April, depending on how the holidays fall, finish up usually beginning of May. But we fill it up. 80 guys. We got a girl out there. My girl Lexi, she's out there with the beer cart, and we serve the beers to the guys. This way they don't have to run in and out of the bar. In bowling, you don't want to get water or anything on your shoes, so we try to take care of them.
Right.
So we bring the bar to them. Works out pretty good.
Boy, it's kind of like the cart girl on a golf course.
Exactly.
Just kind of, well, you can't say cart girl nowadays because then guys will get offended. The cart driver at the golf course nowadays.
Yes.
I have one complaint that I'm sure that Billy's going to agree with me that we have not done very well on the Keno board. So next time that we're here, we just need you to improve that. Jason's gotten smashed in the casino back there, and that hasn't been real good. So if there's one complaint, that's what it is. But what do you got going on in the summer? What's coming?
Yeah. So even starting now, we all have we have Fridays. We have a DJ every Friday from 8:30 till about midnight, and then also every Saturday we have live entertainment, 9 p.m. to midnight. It's always an acoustic sound, nothing. We don't get too crazy with the entertainment, but always something nice. Even keel, good evening. And when the weather turns good, we'll be putting them outside, and all the entertainment will be outside. So
that's great. And when do you normally open?
Through the week, we're open 4 p.m. We close at midnight. And then on Saturdays, we open at noon. We close around, depending on the crowd, we close about 1. Sunday, we're open from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we're also here for all the NFL stuff during football season. So
NFL ticket, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Now, tomorrow, and that's why I asked you this question. Folks, I'm losing my voice. I'm not sure what's going on here. Every time I sit next to Billy, I get sick.
I got to move.
I know, it's terrible. But tomorrow, you've got a special opening. You're going to open at noon. Tomorrow and Friday,
right.
You've got some food and beer specials that are happening. You mentioned this is the Ohio Valley Craft Beer headquarters. 90 beers on the menu, and we mentioned the 20 different wing flavors, most of which you make up yourselves, and you're taking your chance when you come in here. So that's what are some of those specials that are happening tomorrow?
I don't want to comment too much about it. My wife does all the specials, and she'll bite my arm off if I could say the wrong thing. But I know she's going to have a bucket special on domestics.
She's not listening anyway.
She might be. But we're going to do a bucket special for domestics, and I know she'll have a wing special. Also, we just brought out the Strikers burger. It's really good. It's like a Pittsburgh-style burger with coleslaw, fresh cut fries. It's an Angus burger, so it's pretty good. We just revamped the menu, so a lot of good stuff. But she'll put some stuff on special tomorrow, and it should be a good time.
I like it. Folks, that's Charlie Whiteman from Strikers here at Holiday Lanes in Weirton, West Virginia. Come over, check him out. He's a good dude. He's here all the time. He welcomed us right in with open arms. As we mentioned, he is friends with Jags, and we do have to apologize for that. But this has been a lot of fun. We've had a blast. I'm sure that you're going to have baseball on the TVs as baseball season rolls around. We see the Pirates schedule right behind us. But Charlie, we appreciate you having us here, and giving us the opportunity to kind of showcase your place a little bit. It's been a lot of fun.
Great. I appreciate you guys coming over. Awesome.
So once again, Charlie Whiteman from Strikers, come and see him. Tell him we sent you. I don't know what that's going to get you, but just tell them we sent you anyway. Thanks, Charlie. We're going to take a break. We'll be back after this.
You can count on Kane for residential real estate listings, commercial listings, and auctions, serving clients since 1956 with offices in East Springfield and Steubenville. Kane combines real estate and auctioneering to offer several options for the sale of real estate or private property. You can count on Kane. Call them today or go to countonkane.com. That's easy. It's countonkane.com for Kane Realty.
With over 25 years of security experience, Buckeye Security and Investigations LLC is who you need to turn to for all of your security needs, offering security guard services, private investigations, and low-cost cellular monitoring, along with state-of-the-art IP cameras and recorders with remote view applications. Buckeye Security and Investigations LLC can serve all of your security camera and access control needs. Buckeye Security Investigations LLC is a locally owned and operated company. Contact Buckeye Security and Investigations LLC at 740-264-5904 today.
Your daughter is going to look spectacular in her prom gown, but who's going to design her bouquet? M. Colares Florals, of course. Shelley Colares has this special ability to create the most unique, eye-catching, breathtaking floral creations, and whether she uses fresh or artificial flowers, her unique creative style will enhance your daughter's beauty on prom night. Visit Shelley on Facebook at M. Colares Fleurs. It's F-L-E-U-R-S. It's French for flowers, you know. Or call to place your order at 740-317-5143. Oh, and be sure to order your welcome spring and Easter wreaths ASAP. You know it takes Shelley time to design and create an extra special one just for you. Check out her creations on Facebook today. M. Colares Fleurs. Fleur is French for flowers, of course.
Dilly dilly, you hear that and think of Bud Light. Bud Light, you think of Waldorf Distributing in Beach Bottom. Waldorf Distributing features all your favorite brands of adult beverages. Check out their Facebook page for the latest in recommendations and reviews of new products like Bon & Viv Spike Seltzer. Bon & Viv Spike Seltzer delivers a bright taste and a hard-to-believe 0 grams of sugar and only 90 calories. Try Bon & Viv Spike Seltzer today. Waldorf Distributing Company is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
Okay, so grab a pen and write this number down. You ready? 740-275-4581. All right, one more time. I know you're busy. 740-275-4581. 4581. That's the number you'll need for Big John's Auto at the bottom of Lincoln Avenue in Steubenville. Big John has sweet late model and used vehicles and would love the chance to sit down and talk with you about financing. Big John's Auto, a proud sponsor of this online broadcast. And remember the number, here we go, 740 275 4581. Thanks, Big John.
Thanks, Big John.
Big John.
Big John's Auto. We're here at Strikers Sports Bar at the Holiday Lanes in Weirton, West Virginia. We're going to go through the great sponsors that we had for our March Madness special. That would be Thomas Auto Center, Kane Realty, Waldorf Distributing, Janamore's Pizza, Big John's Auto, Buckeye Security and Investigations, M. Caloris Fleur, and that is French for flour, Made Man Promotions, Smokies on Sunset, and we have to give a special mention to Strikers and Charlie. They're doing a bang up job here, and this will not be my last visit to Strikers. I can promise you that much.
No, I'm going to have to bring my
actually,
people over.
I will be here tomorrow for March Madness special.
Jason must be off.
Yes, I'm off till Tuesday.
Speaking of tomorrow, Strikers is open starting at noon. Thursday and Friday, food and beer specials. Charlie was afraid of his wife, so he wouldn't tell you what those are other than beer bucket specials. Craft beer headquarters in the Ohio Valley. 90 beers on the menu. Stop over and check them out. And they've got 20 different wing flavors, and they're the best in town. So that is Strikers in Weirton, West Virginia. And let's talk baseball, gentlemen. We've run our way right through baseball or basketball. With the exception, we've even gone through our Final Four picks. I gave 2 because 4 is too much for me to handle. Baseball coming up, local baseball, high school baseball coming up. It's well, West Virginia opened already.
Yeah, they opened up this week.
And Ohio opens next Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yeah.
There's a doubleheader at Vaquera. I believe Steubenville Big Red plays Claymont, and Steubenville Central plays United. I think that's United's the team.
Okay.
But I know there's a doubleheader there. Big Red's at 12 and Central's at 3.
It's kind of the annual opening for Big Red. They usually open with Claymont or somewhere like that. And if you're into other Ohio Valley sports, on Saturday, the early bird track meet is taking place. And this year it's not at the track at Harding. It's actually at Brook High School because the track at Harding is going to be under construction.
Yeah, Jason Carnahan told me a little bit about that. They don't have no home track meets. They're on the road the whole time.
Yes.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. It's like the tennis courts at Bellevue, too. They have to Wintersville, Indian Creek, and Steubenville Central, if I'm not mistaken, are playing in Minga.
They're all playing down Minga. Yes,
Correct.
they are.
Because of the cracks in the tennis courts at Bellevue Park.
Well, plus they just had another vandalism.
Someone
stole the wires,
the cables,
yes,
held the nets up. So if anybody has information about that, get it out there and let the proper authorities know that what's going on there.
They're talking about Valley baseball. There's going to be some decent teams.
Should be some pretty good teams.
In all divisions, Yeah. I mean, you start with Toronto in Division 4, coming back with a decent,
with a bevy of players.
When you can run those 2 guys out there to pitch, and then you get to Division 3, you got Edison, and Edison's got a couple pitchers coming back. And then you get to Division 2, you got Steubenville at Division 2, and if I'm not mistaken, I think the following year after that, I believe Tri-Valley and Zanesville are coming back to Division 2, so they'll be in that section.
Really?
So it's going to go from 19 to 21 people in that section.
I'm anxious to see, too. St. Clairsville, I think, is going to have a really, really good year this year.
They do.
They have a lot of players back.
Well, it seems like Lindsley started out pretty hot. They haven't lost.
Yeah.
And I know it's early in the year. It's kind of interesting. Lindsley has a pretty decent advantage because they don't have a dirt infield, so they can play as many games as they want early on because they just have they can cover up the base patches and play even when it's a little bit wet. So it's an advantage in that regard. And I know some of the teams locally. Brooke has done it in the past. They travel down south during spring break in this area was never really a thing. It wasn't a thing when we were in school and growing up, but spring break has become a thing now, and teams are taking trips, whether it's to Virginia or North Carolina. I know Brooke a couple years ago went to Orlando and played. So, it gives these guys an opportunity to get out and see the competition, but it also, allows them to play a lot of games in a row to when they come back here.
Well, you got to get time on the field. That's the key. Most of these kids are in the gym for a month whenever you can get started. I mean, there's not much time between the start date and your first game now, especially in Ohio high school when they moved the season back a week. They moved it so you can try to get better weather, push it back.
I can remember coaching Big Red Girl softball, and we had not been outside.
And played your
Our first game was our first day outside.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
correct.
Well, like Freddie said last year, we had talked to him. I think it was like their 11th game, but on the schedule it would have been their like 19th or 20th.
Yeah.
And last year was kind of an anomaly with the weather, as bad as it was. It seemed like it was rain or cold outs.
we had
last year during the spring.
We were down Parkersburg South, and I'm not kidding you when I tell you it was about 25, 30 degrees. They had leaf blowers, like 3 or 4 parents with leaf blowers going across the infield, from the infield to the outfield fence, blowing the snow off the field. They had heaters in the dugouts, and we were like, "Are we really playing this game?" And we played.
Oh yeah, I mean it's kind of what you get. I wasn't a baseball guy in college, but as a college golfer, I remember going to, some events we would play a practice round on a Friday, and I remember specifically we were at Apple Valley down in southern Ohio, and we woke up Saturday, there was like 4 or 5 inches of snow on the ground. So we just turned around and went right back to Canton.
I got to tell you one story. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was playing for West
Right.
Lib.
I'm used to it.
Not by me, but
no,
Jags is bowling up.
Yeah.
You're in good shape. He's bowling. You're fine.
But we go to West Lib. Our spring break trip is Myrtle Beach. So we're all excited. And I'm not kidding you. For the first time, guy told me for the first time in 20-something years it snowed.
In Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, so we're playing, it's snowing. And I'm like, my first time up, I swung the bat, and my hands hurt so bad. I mean, you know that feeling.
Oh, yeah.
So I get back to the dugout, and I told them guys, I said, I'm either going to strike out or walk the rest of this game.
I'm not swinging it no more.
I'm not even going to try. I have some Myrtle Beach College spring stories too that we can't tell.
You
can't tell on the air.
That's all right.
Some of them are pretty good too. You just have to I went to Walsh College. I can't tell this one. I went to Walsh College, right? So my golf coach is a Christian brother. He was probably 70 years old at the time. He loved Scotch. He was he was a little Irish guy, just passed away. So rest his soul. Anyhow, we decided that we're going to take the school van, mind you. And when I say school van, Walsh College on the side. There's no denying where we were from, to a place that a lot of guys like to go in Myrtle Beach. Needless to say, when we came back out, our van broke down in the parking lot.
Oh man!
So how do you explain?
Well, so here we were, 6 guys on a college golf team with the school van, and now we have to call a priest and let him know where we are. Needless to say, he wasn't very happy. He must have had a rough night because the next day, I will never forget this until I live. The next day, I'm watching him drive down the fairway. All of a sudden, his cart disappears. He drove into a lake on a golf course.
Are you serious?
Beach. Oh yes, I swear to you.
That's hilarious.
So those are my spring break stories from Myrtle Beach. It was a lot of fun.
Maybe we should bring the baseball coaches next week and talk a little bit.
I would love it. We could do a baseball. Dano, we could do a baseball coaches show.
Don't forget the girls softball.
There's
been two no-hitters already.
I know it.
Maddie McKay from Oak Glen
and the girl from Brook.
And Rachel Kazmersky, who both of them, I just remember going against them. And Rachel actually played on one of my travel teams. Rachel Kazmersky brings it.
Yeah.
I asked Dan, what? I asked Dan to go to that game that she pitched a no-hitter. He told me no.
He was busy.
If you get a chance.
He wasn't busy.
Former
he just didn't want to go.
Jim DiCarlo is now coaching at Brook.
He is.
And they've got
he can coach.
He's the best around. Him and Gusta Marzio. But he went to Brook with He's got some very good talent.
Oh yeah,
and they're going to be really good this year. Them.
Let's get them all then, Jace. You get Gussie and
we could get
DiCarlo.
Well, the hard part about them is now with baseball season, it's hard to kind of
Right.
get them organized,
Yeah.
especially on on weeknights when it's nice. They're not going to be available, but we do have those games coming. Does Jags have the schedule? You didn't ask.
I didn't ask him.
I just know the first game is. I just know the first game's Monday. I was in that text. Was Monday at.
It was Monday, the 25th.
Yeah, we're at Madonna at Vaquera against Central.
Yes.
I knew that was Monday. You doing that game, Jace?
Yeah, I'll be up
Okay.
there.
You guys are really funny.
I'm just asking because if he can't do it, then I'll have to do it.
Yeah, it's true.
You know,
Well, I'm off. Right? So I'm till Tuesday. So.
he's off till Tuesday, but he usually texts me about 4:15 when he hits a Keno machine and go, Bill, can you do this game for me?
I'm off for the entire season.
Well, no,
not
you're
really.
doing it then. You said no.
No. I can't.
I'm not. Yeah, you can do it.
But anyhow, so that's what we got going on. We got a lot of stuff going on here in the Ohio Valley. It's about 5 minutes to 7 on the East Coast. If you're listening on the West Coast, you have nothing to do with your life.
Yes.
I can promise you that much, because if you're listening to us at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm telling you what, something is wrong with you.
I'm just hoping people down in Thomas's are listening about April the 1st. So when I go in there tomorrow and ask them for April the 1st off, I'm in good shape.
Folks, if you are listening down there at Thomas, that's Thomas Auto Center, he needs the first off. There's no option. That's just how it has to be. I don't know if we're going to get him fired or not, but he needs the first off, so that's how it works.
Oh.
And on that, and speaking of the first, that's what we're going to talk about again. Once again, Ohio Valley Sports Online is going to be at the Clark Bar and Grill in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's Pirates opening day 2019. So after game 1, they'll be out of the playoff hunt. So
there we go already.
Based on
he picked him at first over
based
there.
on based on everybody's predictions, they're gonna lose a game and then be done.
They're going to be done.
Yeah,
they're already done.
You guys are going to be surprised with the Buccos this year.
I think they're going to be pretty decent.
They're going to. But here's my thing. Last year I heard a guy. We were talking about that. After they get rid of McCutcheon, and this guy and one of the radio hosts in Pittsburgh said, "Well, I predict them to win. They're going to win 80 to 90 games still, or 70. And to me, I'm like, okay, are we playing to finish above 500, or are we trying to win a World Series?
I mean, if you win 70 to 80, I mean, there you have it.
It was seriously. There was a conversation on ESPN. I was listening to two guys. I mean, that know baseball. Because when you talk baseball and you watch it, they were talking about the 3 guys that signed contracts. I want the 3 guys. We're take the guy from the Angels out of it.
Right.
He's in a different league all by himself. But when you talk Harper and Machado,
yeah.
and if you take Marte's talent-wise, tell me where we differ from those 2 guys.
Other than the fact he's in Pittsburgh.
That's the fact.
Yeah.
Work ethic.
Well, we don't know that. It's tough to say. We don't know that. But he got $330 million, and he hit 226, guys, last year.
Yeah.
226.
You're right.
I mean, that's a lot of money for a guy to hit 226. Now, don't get me wrong. He's a great player. He's a
so
good
you're right.
player.
That's one bad year.
Yeah.
Okay. Now Marte has yet to.
He hasn't produced.
Still
the
waiting
numbers.
and waiting for
Yeah, we're kind of waiting for that breakout to happen, and if he gets healthy, I mean, Polanco's hurt now, right? Is that what he's with the shoulder?
He's been working out, but he's not going to be ready.
Let me before I forget, because I know JD's probably listening on his headphones.
Happy birthday, JD! By the way,
it is my son's 15th birthday today. I offered to bring him to dinner, and he said he wanted to go referee flag football. So he's down there refereeing flag football at the Martin Luther King Center doing his birthday. But I want to wish my son a happy birthday.
Yep. Happy birthday, my man, my wrestling partner.
He ain't
JD?
Oh yeah.
He ain't little no more though. That's the problem. They grow up
he's
so
getting
fast.
big. He's thinning out. He's looking good. He's way better looking than you are.
Oh, no doubt.
There's absolutely no way the genes came.
I need to
from you.
congratulate too my niece, Ashley White, and her boyfriend John Levy, on the birth of their daughter. Well, my brother went to the hospital 11:30 yesterday, and 1 o'clock this morning.
Oh,
finally, she came.
Nice.
That's great. Dano, you got any shout-outs?
No, I'm good. Danny's done it. He's ready
done.
to eat.
He's ready to pack it in.
He's
Danny's
ready
Come
to
to
eat.
Strikers, folks. The food, the atmosphere, and if you want to partake in a little of
Adult
Keno,
beverage.
Keno, yeah, they got a small little gaming area. You can check that out. These three ladies have been sitting at the bar drinking Patron for like 7 hours.
They've been up here for a while.
We're gonna need Uber. Dan, we could turn on the app. That's right. We can get
You
it.
guys
We
both
can-
are doing it now?
Yeah, we are. I love it.
I could have used you guys Saturday when I went on the beer crawl up there with.
You
Could have used you
you
guys.
should have called us.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it's 7 o'clock. I
We're
think.
gonna call it a
right?
wrap.
6:58. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
it is. We're gonna call it a
Get to
wrap.
get something to eat. Go watch Jags.
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do.
This is the Ohio Valley Sports Online March Madness special. We talked about basketball. Duke's going to win it all. We talked about baseball. The Pirates are going to win it all. That's just because we're close and we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And you got to come to Strikers. Check them out tomorrow, Friday, opening at noon. They are open every day at 4 o'clock to midnight, noon on Saturdays, and then 2 o'clock till about 9 o'clock on Sundays. But check them out tomorrow. They've got Thursday and Friday. They're going to be open at noon. Food and beer specials. This is the Ohio Valley Craft Beer Headquarters. 90 beers on the menu in 20 different wing flavors. And they've got the best wings in town. That's what we've been told. And now that it is 7 o'clock, we're going to confirm that rumor. So that's going to do it for us. Jason Jenkins, Billy Ellis, Ryan Nolan, Dan Swish-Vogel turning the dials.
Jags bowling.
Jags bowling. This has been brought to you by Thomas Auto Center, Kane Realty, Waldorf Distributing, Janimore's Pizza, Big John's Auto, Buckeye Security and Investigations, M. Caloris Fleur, Made Men Promotions, Smokies on Sunset, and we would love to give a special thank you and shout out to Striker Sports Bar in the Holiday Lanes in Weirton. I'm Ryan Nolan for Ohio Valley Sports Online. We hopefully will check in with you next